Hello everybody, welcome into a special edition, a 4-part limited series of Royals Insider as we dive deep into the new Leonard era here for Queens men's basketball. I am joined by Grant Leonard, new head coach of the Queens men's basketball program. First off, Coach, congratulations. I know probably a whirlwind last couple of days, but what's your initial thoughts here now taking over this program?
Honored, humbled, excited. Pretty much every elation you can have. Really pumped to get a chance to take over from Bart Lundy and the foundation he built, and most importantly, really want to coach the guys. We've all been in this together. We believe in each other. They believe in me, and I believe in them.
Absolutely. Well, that's apparent on the court. We of course saw what you guys did this year, and the future bodes very well for this team. Of course, now with you taking over, and of course, there's that sense of familiarity. You've been here for a few years. And of course now heading in, but let's go back to the beginning of your coaching career. A guy, you've been well traveled, you've been all over the place. Started at Washington College, went to UT Pan American, then to Flagler, and then to Payne College, then finally to Queens. What did you learn over that coaching journey that has helped you, of course, now that you move into this new role as head coach?
Well, first, I think one of the best lessons I learned was never turn down a basketball opportunity.
Fair.
I didn't know anyone in most of those places, so I would literally put everything I could in the back of a pickup truck and move there, but get an opportunity to coach some guys. And each stop was unique in its own, and each place and community was equally unique and different. But every one of them gave me a ton of stuff to learn from and build on, and has prepared me to be where I am now.
And of course, it seemed like every stop you got more and more responsibilities. You became a recruiting coordinator out at Payne College, and then of course you've taken that over here at Queens. Can I ask you this, in terms of all of the head coaches that you've served under over those years, what are some of the things that really stick out to you in terms of things that have really helped you in your own coaching career, both as an assistant, now of course as a head coach?
Yeah, and we'll start with the first one, which was Rob Nugent at Washington College, and his ability to just absolutely, no matter what, character first, ethics. It was an unbelievable example to set, and he's one of the best people I've ever met, and so I appreciated the model that he set for me in that. It was eye-opening. And then got to Texas Pan American and Tom Schuberth, and he was a huge veteran in the business, and it was his first head coaching job, but his relationship with the players and his ability to define roles, I've never seen a coach do it the way he did it, and the players really bought in. Bo Clark he had over 400 wins, and he was the all-time leading scorer in Central Florida history, but his confidence that he gave players was truly inspiring. And then Jimmy Link, the loyalty that he had to the players and how hard they played for him at Payne College was something I really learned. And then I got here to Queens with Bart Lundy, and to be honest with you, he had a little bit of all of that. And being here 9 years, it had the hugest impact on me. But he could touch almost all of those points and be able to excel in every area.
And I feel like it's so crucial making all those stops that you do pick up something along the way to each one. And of course, that seems like you've built a very solid foundation now heading in to your first head coaching job here. Of course, we're the associate head coach last year, but now, of course, the full-time head coach. Let's go back even further and talk about kind of where your upbringing into the game of basketball. I know a Wisconsin native from the city of Milwaukee, no shortage of basketball out that direction for sure, but what got you into the game, and where do you see your passion for this sport come from?
Well, growing up, I actually was more of a baseball player. And then in high school, I hit a growth spurt.
Fair enough.
So I went from one of the shorter guys in the class to one of the taller guys in the class. And even though I was still a guard, and I definitely grew into my game. And from that point, my game kind of took off. I really enjoyed the competitive nature of basketball more than the other sports I played, the free-flowing nature of it. And that's what I was getting recruited in multiple sports. out of high school, but I really wanted to play basketball.
Sure.
And so that was my dream. And so when I went to college with that in mind, that I wanted to be a college basketball player.
Well, you went to college, went to William Penn, were a graduated cum laude, I should say, and that was a thing. You look at your career, you had a very solid playing career, but you also were very strong off the court as well. And I know that is something educationally that's a huge foundation for this program with the student athletes for. Can you talk a little bit about the education you received and how you've used that now in terms of heading into your own coaching career?
Well, and I have a degree in psychology, and master's and bachelor's, and it's not really the course content that is important as it was the skills that it gave you, and the ability to manage your time and to organize thoughts and to prioritize things. And that's what we do as coaches, but that's also what we teach our players to do, is how to manage their days and their time. And really, when you excel as a student and a student athlete, that is the most important thing. There's only so many hours in a day. What can you get done? How much can you handle? And how do you prioritize what's going to be done that day? What can you move on to another day? And I was very fortunate that I was able to learn those things throughout college and have a good experience.
Well, you mentioned that there in terms of the way that you help players now, and not just here, but of course all along your journeys in terms of the educational experience. Heading into the future now, I imagine even more of an emphasis coming from a guy that is so well educated and sees the value and importance of that both on and off the court. What is it that you plan on telling your guys in terms of making sure to keep their academics up and, of course, getting their playing stronger, I should say, on the court?
So it's not always about being a 4.0 student or being the best student in school. What it is about being the best student they can be. And that's the most important thing you can tell them is I don't expect you to ace every test. Don't expect you what we do expect you to do is to put your best foot forward. And if you do that every day in basketball and on the classroom, you lay your head down and you do right that day and you stack good days on top of each other, when you look back, you're going to be a completely different person months and years later. And then that's what you can do, is just strive to be the best you can that day.
Well, Coach, congratulations again, and very excited for this series. Of course, over the next couple of days, we will have more and more coming your way. Starting tomorrow on Tuesday, we'll dive a little bit deeper into the understanding of Queens basketball history with new head coach of your men's basketball program, and Mr. Grant Leonard. And Coach Leonard, looking forward to the rest of our conversations here. But like I said, big congratulations. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike.